Hello everyone, in this video I'll discuss a poem, the title of which is 3 Years She Grew in Sun and Shower by William Wordsworth. This is the fourth poem of the 5-poem series called Lucy Poems. This collection of 5 poems is called Lucy Poems because the central character is Lucy in all these 5 poems. All the poem centers around the character called Lucy. This poem was composed in 1798 and the theme of this poem is Lucy's upbringing by nature. Upbringing by nature. The upbringing of Lucy by nature. William Wordsworth views nature as teacher and instructor, and in this poem he describes how nature instructs the character of Lucy in accordance to the spontaneity of the nature, laws, spontaneity and the guidance of the nature. William Wordsworth always gave too much value or so much value on the faculty or on the power of the nature. And in this poem, William Wordsworth claims that the nature molded Lucy on its own model, and in doing so, the nature created a perfect creature, and Lucy remains with the nature until she died, and the poet is now only left to mourn after her loss, after her death, and mourn after his loss. So this is the background of the poem. Now let's start the poem. 3 years she grew in sun and shower. Lucy grew. Lucy was 3 years old. She is Lucy. Lucy was 3 years old and she grew in sun and shower. It means in the lap of nature. And when nature saw a 3 years old Lucy, nature said that a lovelier flower on earth was never shown. So who is the lovelier flower? Lucy. Lucy is referred to as a lovelier flower. So nature says that on the earth never was sown, kabhi nahi boya gaya tha isse khoobsurat flower. And the nature decides to take this child, Lucy, to himself. To himself means under his care or under his guardianship. So nature adopts Lucy. This child I to myself will take. इस बच्चे को मैं अपने अंडर लूंगा. She shall be mine. Lucy shall be mine. And I will make a lady of my own. I will create a lady after the harmonious and balanced condition of the nature, that nature says that she will be the lady of nature's own. Here, as nature is speaking, so it is the example of personification. Here nature has been personified. At the same time, it is the example of pathetic fallacy, Pathetic, pathetic fallacy. Pathetic fallacy is when nature takes an active participation in the affairs of human. So, poet says that 3 years Lucy grew in the lap of nature, and then the nature said that no more lovelier flower was ever sown on the lap of the nature, and so nature adopts Lucy. Nature takes Lucy under its own care, and nature claims that he will make Lucy a lady of nature's own. Now let's come to the second stanza. In the second stanza, nature claims that myself will to my darling be, that I will, my darling means my daughter. So nature adopts Lucy as his daughter and he says that I will teach her law and impulse. Means he will teach Lucy law, means guidance, and impulse means energy. So he will teach her where to be guided by law and where to be impulsive. It means where to let loose of it, one's energy. So in our life, there must be impulses opposite to law, and in our life, we must know how to balance law and impulse. There are the places, there are the ways, there are the instances where we must use the law, where we must go according to the law, and there are the instances where we must break the boundaries of the law in order to act impulsively, freely, more human like. So nature says that he will taught Lucy, he will taught his darling both law and impulse. And with me, here me is nature, the girl is Lucy, in rock and plain. So rock means mountain, rock means mountain, plain is ground, earth is ground and heaven is sky. So here there are a lot of name, change, and name change is called metonymy, is a figure of speech that is called metonymy, metonymy. So it is an example of metonymy. So nature says that this girl Lucy will roam around me in mountains, in plains, on earth, in heaven, in glade. Glade is a closed open area space in wood or forest, and bower is a open area, shady area in wood or forest. So glade, जंगल के बीच में अगर कोई open space है तो उसको हम कहेंगे glade, और जंगल के बीच में कोई shady space है तो हम उसको कहेंगे bower. So glade is an open space in wood or forest, and bower is a shady space, छायादार space in wooden bower. So nature says on mountains and plain, on earth and in sky, in an open place or shady place, Lucy shall feel the overseeing power. Lucy shall learn the power to kindle the law and impulse और restrain the law and impulse. Lucy सीखेगी कि कैसे law और impulse को क्या करना है, हर जगह कब kindle करना है, कब जगाना है और कब उसको control करना है. So this is the second stanza. Now let's come to the third stanza. In third stanza, nature talks more about the character of Lucy, and nature says that Lucy, she shall be sportive. Sportive is playful. Playful. That Lucy will be sportive. As who? Lucy will be playful as fawn. Fawn is the young deer, a young deer. So a young deer keep on jumping and playing all around. So he says, nature says that Lucy will be as playful as young deer. Here the comparison has been done with as. So it is the example of simile. Simile is when two things are compared with as or like, as like. So nature claims that Lucy shall be playful as the young deer. That young deer, that goes wild, uncontrolled with glee. Glee is extreme happiness. Glee is extreme happiness. That with glee across the lawn, जो कि बहुत खुशी के साथ घूमता रहता है, कूदता रहता है, कहाँ पे? In the lawn, on the land, or up the mountain springs. Springs means jumps or goes, jumps, moves. तो वो यंग डियर, वो प्लेफुल यंग डियर जो माउंटेन में, स्प्रिंग में जंप करता रहता है, उसकी तरह लूसी होगी. एंड हर शैल बी ब्रीदिंग बाम. शी विल गेट द ब्रीदिंग बाम मीन्स peacefulness and quietness. So when do we breathe peacefully? When we are happy. So hers shall be the breathing balm, and hers the silence and the calm. And she will learn the silence. Lucy silence सीखेगी, शांति सीखेगी, calmness सीखेगी. किससे? म्यूट इनसेंसेट चीज़ों से। तो व्हाट इज इनसेंसेट थिंग्स? द थिंग्स दैट डज नॉट हैव सेंसेशन, दैट does not have sensation. So what does not have sensation? Mountains, rocks does not have sensation. Mountains does not have sensation, rocks does not have sensation, and mountains and rocks are silence and calm. Mountain और rock silence रहते हैं, calm रहते हैं। तो ये बोलते हैं लूसी जो है silence सीखेगी, calmness सीखेगी, किससे? Mountain से, rock से। तो यहाँ पर नेचर क्लेम करता है कि लूसी जो है स्पोर्टिव होगी, प्लेफुल होगी, किसकी तरह? एक यंग डियर की तरह जो पूरे खुशी खुशी खेलता है। कहाँ पे? लॉन में और माउंटेन में। लूसी की सांसें शांत होंगी। शी विल लर्न द पीसफुलनेस, क्वाइटनेस, कामनेस, एंड मोर ओवर शी विल लर्न द साइलेंस एंड कामनेस फ्रॉम द इनसेंसेट, म्यूट, शांत, इनसेंसेट थिंग्स लाइक फ्रॉम माउंटेन्स शी विल लर्न द कामनेस। In the next stanza, the poet claims that speaker claims, and the speaker is nature claims that floating clouds, जो उड़ते हुए clouds हैं, their states. So what is the state of the floating cloud? The floating cloud are dignified. Floating cloud, their state shall lend to her. So floating cloud will give लूसी डिग्निटी। फ्लोटिंग क्लाउड जो है वो लूसी को डिग्निटी सिखाएंगे। फॉर हर द विलो बैंड, विलो इज विलो ट्री विथ हैंगिंग ब्रांचेस, एंड विलो ट्री इज द सिंबल ऑफ ह्यूमन्स कैपेसिटी टू विथस्टैंड हार्डशिप, लॉस एंड डिफिकल्ट emotion. Let me write it for you. What does willow tree symbolizes? It symbolizes humans capacity to withstand, बर्दाश्त करना, withstand hardships and loss and difficult situations, and it is also the symbol of survival for the human being, survival and rebirth. So this all are the significance of the willow tree. So here the nature says that willow tree will bend to her. It means willow tree will teach her how to withstand hardship, loss, difficult situation. It means it will build the character of Lucy. Nor shall she fail to see, Lucy will not fail to see, nor shall she, Lucy fail to see, means Lucy will not fail to see, even in the motion of storms, storms के motion में grace. Lucy will learn grace. From where? From the motion of the storm. That shall mold, और motion of the storm की जो गति होती है, तूफान जो है, it will mold the maidens, means Lucy's form by silent sympathy. तो ये लूसी को जो है sympathy सिखाएगा. तो when storm comes, everything is destroyed. So it is from there also the Lucy will learn something from the motion of the storm. So this is the next stanza. Now let's come to the next stanza. Here the speaker, the nature says, the stars of midnight, आधी रात के जो stars होते हैं, shall be dear to her. She will also like the midnight star, and she shall lean her ear to many a secret place. Which secret place? Well, the rivals. ठीक है. So what is a rival? Rival is a hidden stream. Stream that passes through the hidden passages in the mountain. राइवल्स एक स्ट्रीम होती है, जलधारा होती है, रील्स होती है, जो कि माउंटेन्स में छुपे हुए जगह से आती है. तो ये बोलते हैं राइवल्स, और उनका जो मोशन है उसके लिए द पोएट हैज़ यूज अ वेरी पोएटिक वर्ड डांस. सो वेयर द राइवल डांस द मैनी प्लेसेस, वेरियस सीक्रेट प्लेसेस. एंड वाई इट इज़ अ सीक्रेट प्लेस? बिकॉज इट इज़ नॉट विजिबल टू द ईयर्स. टू द आइज, इट इज़ नॉट विजिबल टू द ओपन आइज। तो बहुत सारी ऐसी जगहों से जहाँ पर छोटी नदियाँ जो है हिडन प्लेसेस में बहती है, वहाँ पर वो अपने कान ले जाएगी और इस म्यूजिक को वो सुनेगी। टू देयर वेवर्ड राउंड, वाई वेवर्ड राउंड? बिकॉज इट द राइवल मूव्स इन द मेजी मोशन, मेजी motion in the mazy motion and in the labyrinth the rival dance। तो ये बोलते हैं जहाँ पर राइवल डांस करते हैं वहाँ पर ये अपने लूसी जो है अपने कान लगाकर इसको सुनेगी। और ये जो खूबसूरत साउंड है, द ब्यूटी बॉर्न ऑफ मरमरिंग साउंड, ये मरमरिंग का जो साउंड है किसका? राइवल्ड का, हिडन स्ट्रीम का। सेल पास इनटू हर फेस, दैट द ब्यूटी ऑफ दैट म्यूजिक विल पास into the face of Lucy and Lucy will look so beautiful. So now the next stanza is, and the vital feeling of delight, the important feeling of delight. When we are delightful, when we are happy, so we become very beautiful, we become peaceful, calm, composed. All these feelings comes, the feeling of peaceful, being feeling of being quiet, composed, guided, energetic, all these things comes from the feeling of delight. So the poet says the vital feeling of delight shall foster, rear means foster, palna, shall foster Lucy to a stately height. It will take her to the stately height, very good height. Her virgin bosom and her pure bosom, pure heart, her pure heart will swell, or because she will get to the stately height, the pure heart of the Lucy will keep on swelling. Such thoughts to Lucy I will give, ऐसे थॉट्स में दूंगा लूसी के दिमाग में, नेचर सेज, वाइल सी एंड आई टुगेदर लिव, जब हम दोनों जो है साथ में रहेंगे। कैसे थॉट? कि उसको कैसे जीना चाहिए, और ये सारी बातें जो इन्होंने बोली। सी एंड आई टुगेदर लिव हियर इन दिस हैप्पी डेल, डेल मीन्स वैली। इस हैप्पी डेल में जब हम लोग साथ में रहेंगे, मैं और लूसी, जब मैं उसको अडॉप्ट कर लूँगा तो मैं उसके थॉट ऐसे उसको दूंगा। तो नेचर डिसाइड्स टू टेक लूसी इनटू इट्स ओन लैब to create her character after its own mold, and thus the nature spake, nature ने ऐसा बोला, and the work was done. Then Lucy was created on the model of the nature. But how soon my Lucy's race was run. But Lucy died. It was too soon that Lucy's race, means the type of the people of Lucy, or Lucy, ran out of the earth. She died. So this is the example. This is the example of euphemism. When we say the harder thing into the softer words, we call it euphemism. EUPHEMISM. So instead of saying that Lucy died, the poet says Lucy's race was run. So when we say some hard thing in some pleasing words, so we call it euphemism. She died, Lucy mar gayi, and left to me. Who is me here? Poet, who is also Lucy's beloved or Lucy's lover. And poet says that Lucy died and left to me this heath. This place was left to me. This calm and quiet scene of the nature was left to him. And the memory of what has been, and the memory of Lucy, कि Lucy कैसी थी, and never more will be. और वो लूसी जो अब जिंदा नहीं है और ना ही वापस पैदा होगी, ना ही वापस आएगी, बस पोएट के पास वो मेमोरी जो है वो बच गई है. सो दिस इज द पोएम 3 years she grew in sun and shower. Thank you.